What is going on, guys? It's Mitch here, aka Royal Bacchus, and today I got a video about a movie upcoming, which you already see in the title. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, looking like it might actually be a flop, which is actually really surprising to me. I thought this was going to be maybe the movie that could hold Marvel afloat while everything else is crumbling around them. Seems like I might be wrong. We'll get into everything, but before we do, if you want to drop a like, subscribe down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm bringing you content like this all throughout the week. I also got Patreon, Instagram, and Twitter in the links. If you want to support me on Patreon, you guys get the unedited versions of my videos and the content a couple days earlier than you would on YouTube. Anyways, so we here, let me click over onto this. All right, so we can see this article here, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 box office tracking for potential massive flop. I am actually extremely surprised. I really thought this could be something that could help Marvel. They have been in a, let's call it a rut for the last couple of years when it comes to their shows and their movies, right? Actually, if you guys want, we can watch this. It came out just today. I was watching before we started. And to me, it's this, watching this is interesting.
And then we became Guardians on May 5th.
Because to me, I watch this and I get excited. Like Adam Warlock is in it. The High Evolutionary is in it.
Summer begins.
I will destroy the Guardians
with their final tour.
Like, to me, I'm actually hyped for this movie.
I guess we'll die trying.
The cast is excellent in it as well.
I know who you are already.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Rated PG-13.
So as we can see here, they're still pushing it. They're still trying to get everything out before the movie actually starts, which is May 5th, I believe, it just said. But here on cosmicbook.news, we have an article about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's looking like it could be a flop. Here it says, it's tracking low, potentially a massive flop for the next Marvel movie as part of Kevin Feige's Phase 5. I didn't even know we were in Phase 5 anymore. I thought we were still in Phase 4. Don't really understand how that works. Which is already off to a rocky start following the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which we all know was actually a bust, surprisingly. I didn't like the movie, but I actually thought that it would be able to make its money back, and it doesn't seem that it was able to do that. According to early estimates, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is tracking for a $130 million opening, which is less than Guardians of the Galaxy 2, at 146 back in 2017. Like I said, it's just very interesting to me because I really thought that this movie was going to be something that people actually went out and saw, even though we've been having hits or misses more than hits 100% with Marvel. I thought this still, even though all this has been happening, it could still make a lot of money from it. So it says here, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 pre-sale numbers are awful. The early estimates are said to be part of, come from initial pre-sales where Box Office Pro reports the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 pre-sale numbers are actually lower than every Marvel movie released post-Avengers Endgame, except for Black Widow and Shang-Chi, which we both, people have their opinions on Shang-Chi, I have mine, but I think all of us can say Black Widow was garbage. So it's interesting that those are the only two that are not beating Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for pre-sale numbers. Now that it's surprising as it means, blah, 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 blah. Now, the one thing I actually want to get into is why could Guardians of the Galaxy 3 bomb at the box office? So these are some things that I actually find interesting. The second movie isn't as well liked as the first movie, which is fair. I definitely think that the first movie was a lot better than the second, but on top of this as well, I also think that they're both fun. I didn't hate Guardians of the Galaxy 2 by any means. I actually think it was a good movie altogether, but not better than the first, obviously. Then we have the second one here where it says James Gunn could be a problem, as audiences might not have forgotten that James Gunn was fired from Disney and Marvel over raunchy tweets. I don't know too much about that either. To me, it didn't seem to be a big problem. When it came out, it was one thing that kind of went away quicker than I thought it would have, and I thought he would have lost his job prior to all this. So it was actually surprising to me. I don't think that could be a really big reason why people wouldn't go out. For me, that doesn't come into consideration when it comes to me seeing this movie, but for some other people, I guess it is a possibility. On top of that, James Gunn as well moving to DC. Once again, I don't know. To me, it's the last Guardians of the Galaxy's movie. So how much could that actually affect from him, be affected from him moving to DC? Because really, he has nothing left to do here. So to me, that once again, still, I don't really think that could be the problem. But this guy here makes a lot of sense. Another goofy Marvel movie. Now, for the love of God, from Thor and everything else, this is one thing I think that people are just kind of sick and tired of, is the movies that Marvel make now are just filled with crappy humor that take away from the actual movie. And like, I'm on board with this 100% when it comes to another goofy Marvel movie. I think that they have a really big problem when it comes to balancing humor in their movies, and it takes away from really big scenes. I've complained about this 100 times when it comes to Marvel. It worked a long time ago, but now it's to the point of where it just kills the movie for me. Every time there's a big scene, a big build-up, turns into something funny, and it's just been something that's always turned me off with Marvel, especially with Phase 4. And Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania kicked off Phase 5 and introduced the MCU fans to Next Level Thanos with Jonathan Majors, who is apparently right now looking like he's going to no longer be Kang. So that's another thing that the MCU is now going to really have to worry about. But I think the biggest thing right now is definitely another goofy Marvel movie. And I also think that maybe I was wrong at one point, where people are actually getting tired of superhero movies. I could be wrong on that. Because for me, like, I still like, let's say, The Boys, the TV show and whatnot. But recently, I've had a very hard time. I was one that went and saw Shazam. It was okay. Nothing special by any means. That was a flop. So to me, maybe people are now not caring as much as they used to for superhero movies. It used to be the biggest thing in the world, and now all of a sudden it's kind of taken a downturn extremely fast in the recent years. And I think that is also a possibility. Now, you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think, if there is a fatigue when it comes to superhero movies. That could be another thing. I could have been wrong back when I said there is no fatigue. It's just because the movies aren't good. I think nowadays it could be an actual possibility. So that's more or less what I wanted to talk about. Another thing that I saw, though, on the same website here, Comic Book News, is the Marvels with Brie Larson now the most disliked MCU trailer on YouTube. Now, I did a reaction to this. It's not great. I wouldn't say the trailer's bad by any means. For one, it didn't get me pumped up at all for this movie whatsoever. I thought that Miss Marvel was actually was in the spotlight of the trailer. You barely saw any of Brie Larson. But here it says, less than a week ago, I pointed out how the trailer was the second most disliked Marvel trailer following She-Hulk. I'm not even going to get into that. But now the Marvels trailer has received 400,000 dislikes since then. And with over 600,000 dislikes, the Marvels trailer is the most disliked MCU trailer of all time. Now, there's a lot of reasons why this is obviously happening. I'm not going to get too far into it because this is supposed to be about Guardians of the Galaxies. But you can see down here, woke media attack fans for disliking Marvel trailer and da-da-da-da-da. We know the stories that it all comes with this stuff. But once again, another L for Marvel. And I don't know. I don't know if Guardians of the Galaxies does not work out for Marvel. They are going to be in a massive hole for the next upcoming movies, because there's nothing really in essence that I am excited for. And this is, like I said at the beginning, the only thing that might be able to hold or keep afloat Marvel is Guardians of the Galaxies 3. So we'll see, I guess. We don't actually know. It is the pre-sales that they're talking about, and it's just an estimation. So there is a possibility that things could go right at some point. I don't know. I'm going to be going to see it because I actually like Guardians of the Galaxies, and I think there's still potential for this, 100%. Afterwards, no idea. So yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. But before I leave, if you want to drop a like and subscribe down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. Bringing you content all throughout the week. I also got Patreon, Instagram, and Twitter in the links. And until next time, guys, see you later.